We talked National League MVP earlier. What about the American League finalists, Shohei Ohtani, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien? You and I were just talking about this, Ronnie. It's going to be tough to find an answer that isn't Ohtani tonight. I think it's a slam dunk.
Yeah, and Seager had an amazing year. Played in, 119 games. Injuries forced him out of a few. But Ohtani is just, when you ask big league ball players, many of them were stars as pitchers and hitters until they were 19 or 20 years old. And they can't explain it or understand how he does it. That tells you something.
Yeah, and as good a year as Semien and Seager had, you could put anybody else up there against Ohtani this year. And despite the fact that he didn't pitch through the end of the season because of the injury, he did both, and he did both at such a high level. It was a historic year. I know that a lot of people are tired of kind of contemplating how good he is and how he's going to have a stranglehold on this as long as he does both, but it's just the reality of it.
Yeah, and why not just appreciate the time that we are seeing for the first time someone who has the ability to do both at this level. I've never seen it, never thought it would ever happen.
Let's bring Keith Costas in on this discussion. Keith, any comps, any additional food for thought in the American League MVP race?
Well, you guys mentioned the time that Seager missed. How about the time that his middle infield partner, Marcus Semien, did not miss? And we start here with this board of the most plate appearances in the history of the game in a single season, including the postseason. Ron's old teammate Lenny Dykstra on one side of this and Semien on the other, passing him up for that record. Just a side note here, Lenny Dykstra, 173 at 174 with that lifestyle. Wow. It's a conversation for another day, but impressive to be getting back on the field after what he was supposedly up to off the field. Now back to Seager, guys. You talked about the time he missed. The comp that you hear with Seager all the time is a big shortstop, Cal Ripken. Obviously, Cal was on the field every single day. Not the case for Seager this year. But you take a look at the whole career, pretty much a dead heat at this point, guys. Seager versus Ripken through the first 906 games of their career. Slight edge in some of these categories for Seager, but more or less right in line. And now to the favorite, guys. Matty, you said it. What is there really to say about Ohtani at this point? The case for him most years is that he is Shohei Ohtani, and he does both, so what more do you need to say? But just for a point of comparison, the lowest opponent's batting average by an Angel since Nolan Ryan, that's pretty good company, and the fourth best OPS as a hitter behind Mike Trout's three best seasons. So when you're talking about Nolan Ryan and Mike Trout as the comps and you're doing it in the same season as one person, I would say that's probably the most valuable player in the league.
That's a really impactful way to kind of look at the Ohtani campaign for MVP. I guess the drama tonight will be whether or not it's unanimous if he gets all 30 first place votes. Where Shohei Ohtani plays next year and beyond is a story for another day. We're just kind of taking in his historic 2023 season. And I guess when you talk about the Angels' reluctance to trade him at the deadline, one of the arguments to keep him was when he wins the MVP, he'll do it in an Angels uniform. And that means that two MVP plaques will have Shohei Ohtani as an Angel on them. It's permanent record. It's in the media guide, and there was value in that. Not to mention the Angels were still in it mathematically, very much in it, when they decided to hold him and not trade him in 2023.
What's interesting about his free agency, though, is that it's going to be revolutionary. Most of the time you have these agents putting together these big books of accomplishments and what their player has done and what he could do for your ball club. It'll be just the opposite. All of these clubs are going to have to present to Shohei not only that this is the best place to play, this is a winning place to play, but even more so, how are we going to rehab you to come back from your injury to your UCL.
It's going to be fascinating drama to watch all offseason long. Let's talk about the National League MVP race. We already profiled Ronald Acuna Jr.'s historic season with Joe Simpson. In any other year, we'd be talking about how teammates Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman would be splitting votes and vying for National League MVP. I don't think there's any other conversation outside of Cunha here, but if you had to make a case for somebody else, would it be Betts or would it be Freeman? I guess that's compelling.
Yeah, I'm going to give a slight edge to Betts, and only because I went and watched a 3-game series that he played. He played right field one game. He played second base the other 2 games. His ability to move in from a Gold Glove right fielder and then come in and not miss a beat as a middle infielder and there at shortstop as well, to me is fascinating. We just spent time talking about Shohei Ohtani being able to do extraordinary stuff. Well, Mookie Betts does that as well. And boy, he had quite a season as well.
Yeah, Keith, there was a time at the end of July, beginning of August, when Mookie Betts, for a very short time, became the betting favorite, actually passed Acuna. And if you were on it as a futures bettor, You could have taken a short number on Acuna for really the only time this season. I think it's flipped now. Acuna is a heavy favorite tonight.
Yeah, he's got to be. And if you want to talk about Mookie, Ron hit on the biggest thing, his defensive versatility. But just talking about what he did at the plate, guys, 39 home runs this year. And you take a look at where he hit most of them, 40% of them in the lower third of the zone. You think about guys going low, you're going to think about big left-handed power hitters. And you look at this list, that's basically what it is, along with Mookie Betts, 5'8", 180 in terms of the highest slugging percentage in the lower third of the zone. That really stood out to me as just a stylistic approach type thing that you wouldn't expect from somebody of his stature. Now, Matty, flipping to Freeman, we did enough Dodger games together this season that I know this is a Matty V special. Always have it at the ready. Where is the hole for Freddie Freeman? He hits everywhere. He hits every kind of pitching. He hits lefties. He hits righties. He hits in all situations. High leverage, low leverage, runners on, bases empty. Doesn't matter. This guy's going to hit well above 300 in basically every situation. And Ronnie, you took the words right out of my mouth earlier talking about Acuna. The only real comp is Eric Davis. There's been 50 players in the history of the game that have stolen 70-plus bases. This is their career home run rates. So basically what this says, Ronald Acuna's home run rate is double every other player that's ever stolen 70-plus bases in the history of the game other than Eric Davis. You take a look at that bottom note there. Everyone else not on the board, the other 46, homered about once every 100 at-bats. So Ronald Acuna, just an unheard-of combination of power and speed.
Right on point with that stuff, Keith. Yeah, you bet. And again, the show is going to be tonight, 6 Eastern, wrapping up BBWAA Awards Week with the American League and National League MVPs.